Hey everybody, it's Lucas, and I'm going to be in charge of covering E3 this year. Yep, it's that time of year again. It's E3. It's time for us to figure out what we're going to be spending our money on the next couple of years. So, on day one, we had EA's conference. And EA has been through a lot of controversy with their whole loot box thing and pay to win. This year, they kind of ate a big slice of humble pie, and I'll tell you why. They started off their conference with a really cool cinematic of Anthem. This huge monster coming through the screen and attacking a couple of characters from the game. And it looked really cool, looked really awesome. And I thought they were going to start off the bat with Anthem gameplay and just be like, you need to see this game, look at how great this game is, this is what we've been working on. And instead of doing that, they went right onto Battlefield 5, which I think looks amazing. Battlefield 5 is set in World War II, and they're going to have some new features to the game. For instance, you can dive through windows and you can get a drop on somebody, which I think is really cool, especially for the way I play. I run and gun the whole time. I don't care about my KD. I just go. And a new feature that they're going to have is the turrets. The turrets are still going to be there, but you can move them. You can put them on the back of a truck. From what I saw in the gameplay video, a truck backed up to a artillery cannon and then just drove off with it. And I think that's really cool because you can set up shop wherever you need to and just rain down on somebody. They're still going to have the single player game mode, and it's still going to be the war stories, just like how it was in Battlefield 1. And the war stories are going to be the untold stories based on human heroism, people that changed the world, and people that we do not know about. And back to what I was saying about the no loot boxes, Battlefield 5 is not going to have loot boxes or a premium pass, which is amazing. They didn't say this, but I think they're probably going to do what they did with Star Wars Battlefront and made all of the new maps and stuff free, which I think would be great. Totally new thing that they're doing with Battlefield, this game, is they're going to be having a Battlefield Royale, which is just what everybody's going to be doing this E3. I think it's going to be the theme for E3. E3 2018, Year of Battle Royale. Battlefield is getting a version of it, and I'm sure it's going to be closer to PUBG than it is to Fortnite. Probably with vehicles and just huge maps, and that's what I think it's going to be. They didn't really specify about how it's going to be on it and stuff like that, and gameplay mechanics. They just said, oh, hey, we're having a Battlefield Royale mode. And they showed some gameplay footage of grand operations, kind of like the operations of Battlefield 1, and that looked awesome. And I can't wait to get my hands on this game. I'm going to be playing this on day one. The next game that they talked about was FIFA, and with all the sports games, it's just an updated version from last year. It's the same game, just different year, which I don't mind. I'm a fan of FIFA games, and every year I go out and buy the game. For the FIFA 19, they're going to be keeping the Alex Hunter story, which I'm a fan of. I want to know what Alex has been up to. They're keeping the FIFA Ultimate Team, and for the 2018, since it's the year of the World Cup, for FIFA 18, they're doing a free update so you can get all of the World Cup uniforms, and I'm sure there's going to be a World Cup game mode. Something that they did talk about this year was a new streaming service that they're going to have, which is going to be called Origin Premier Access. It is a new online streaming service for all of the EA games, and it's going to be on PC, I believe, and they're bringing Madden back to the PC, which is a big deal for some people. It is going to be $100 a year or $15 a month. I mean, I don't know if I'll be getting this. I probably won't. I think when it comes to EA games, I either buy them or I don't buy them. I'm not like, oh, let me just try this game for a little bit. I either just play the FIFA game and Battlefield and whatever Star Wars game that they're coming out with. Speaking of Star Wars games, so the MC of the EA event, we cut to her, and she's like, oh, I'm sitting here with this guy from Respawn. Let's see what he's up to. So word on the street is you're coming up with a new Star Wars game. He talks about, yeah, we're coming out with a new Star Wars game. It's going to be called Jedi Fallen Order, and it takes place between episodes 3 and 4, and you get to run around with a lightsaber. As a Star Wars fan, that is the game that I want. I want to run around with a lightsaber. I want to be a Jedi. I don't care. Give me a lightsaber. The thing that I was puzzled about in this game was they had about 80 minutes for their conference. This game is set to release in 2019, holiday 2019. they didn't show any footage for the game, any screenshots, not even any, like, just a graphic or something like that for the game. They didn't show anything. And I'm like, this is a huge opportunity you just missed. Everybody wants a Star Wars game like this. It's set to release in a year and a half. You should have something that you could have shown. So this is just making me excited for next year's E3, where hopefully they have some actual gameplay. Or they could be doing something with an EA game on like a different console. Maybe it's a PlayStation exclusive or something like that, and they're gonna have gameplay for this, for this game. Because I want to see this game. I want to know more about it. But back to Star Wars Battlefront 2. There's going to be new content released for that game, and they're going back to the Clone Wars. And they're bringing back the Extraction game mode, and they're putting in some new characters. They're finally giving us General Grievous. And as a fan of the Star Wars series and the Star Wars video games, when the original Star Wars Battlefront 2 was out, I kept playing as General Grievous. I knew he was overpowered, but he was my go-to. I wanted those 4 lightsabers. I loved running around as General Grievous doing the Force Sprint, or whatever sprint that he was doing. I didn't know what they called it. Him doing that in the Mos Eisley Cantina, just cutting through everybody, was my favorite thing to do. And the guy who was up there talking about Star Wars Battlefront 2, he had to eat a big shit sandwich, I think, because of all the controversy around the game. But EA this year, they thanked the developers and they thanked the players for kind of just, toughing through it. And they're really listening to the audience, and they're really listening to the people online, I think, because the players stuck it to them with Battlefront 2. Nobody really bought the loot boxes and really stuck it to them, which, stick it to the man. Like, you should be able to spend $60 on a video game and get the video game and not have to worry about somebody with their parents' credit card doing, oh, you know what, I'm just going to buy all the premium passes and I get all these good guns with it. I'm going to be so much better than everybody else. You shouldn't have that in a video game. And I'm glad they're finally getting rid of that. A surprise at this conference was the release of Unravel 2, which is the story of a little yarn guy running around, solving puzzles and stuff. I didn't play the first one. I want to play the first one. I thought it looked cute as hell, and I want to play as that little yarny running around. But Unravel 2, it starts off with you on an island, and you find another yarny. And it's a co-op game. So you can do couch co-op, or you can do co-op with an AI, or I'm sure you can do a multiplayer co-op online as well. A new release that they did from another indie development was Sea of Solitude. It's an independent game, and it talks about loneliness and how people become monsters, and I think it's going to be one of those games that really makes you think, kind of like Hellblade's Newest Sacrifice. The art direction looks really cool, and they showed a couple minutes of gameplay, I think, or stuff that might happen in the game, the trailer for it, and it looked really cool and really thought-provoking. After that, they talked about NBA Live 19, and it's just another NBA game. And then they talked about Madden 19, and what they did is the same mistake that they did in 2015 with that NBA 16, with getting Hoop God out there, but instead they brought out this guy named Young Kiv, and he apparently won the Madden 2018 championship, and they just talked about his success and all that, and his story of becoming, and nobody gave a rat's ass about this kid. You could have heard a pin drop, and I was just waiting for that to be over. It was cringy, and it was typical EA when they get somebody up there who shouldn't be on the stage. After that, they talked about a mobile game, which turned out to be a Command & Conquer game called Command & Conquer Rivals. Nobody in the crowd seemed interested about it, and they spent 10 to 15 minutes on this game by having 2 professional RTS players play a round of this game. And I'm not really going to dive into it. It was basically, you farm resources, you deploy troops, and then eventually you get better items, better troops, better vehicles, yada yada yada, typical RTS game. But that is coming out for iOS and Android, and currently it is available for Android users, but it's only in alpha gameplay right now. After that, they talked about Anthem, the game everybody wanted to know more about, and they played the trailer. They talked about the game in a Q&A format instead of showing actual gameplay, but they eventually showed the gameplay. And the main thing that I realized at EA's conference this year was they constantly used the same footage over and over again. and it kind of was like, oh, this is cool. Oh, I've already seen that. Like, it kind of took some of the shock value out of, you know, brand new video games. Everybody wants to play the new games and stuff, and there was like, show me something different. We've already seen this already. They talk more about the game. It's going to be a shared world experience, and that means that they're going to have some parts of the game, like if you go to a base or something like that, is going to be single player, more like the single player games, and when you go out into the world, it's going to be multiplayer at that point. So if it's raining in your world, it's raining for everybody else in that world. If there's a giant monster, everybody else in that world can fight that monster. But as soon as you go to a base or something like that, it goes back to single player game mode. Then they talked about some of the classes, but they really only showed the Ranger class and the Colossus class, which is the Ranger's best suited for one-on-one combat, and the Colossus is big weapons. Like, it was just a tank-looking guy, and they should have talked more about this game since this game is set to release in February of 2019. I just can't wait to see more footage of this game. Hopefully somebody else starts talking about it, or they talk more about it during the actual E3 conference. You can customize everything in that game, your gear, your weapons. They aren't doing loot boxes, but they are doing where you can buy cosmetic items, but you know what you're getting. Like, it's no more like, oh, I hope I get that skin. It's kind of like what they do in Fortnite, where you buy in-game currency, but you know what you're going to get. And that's all I have to say about EA's conference. Overall, I thought it was pretty good. I wish they did more with Anthem. Wish they talked more about the Battle Royale mode and Battlefield. But it's just the day one of the conference, and there's still a lot of stuff out there. And if you're watching more of the conference, I'm going to be posting videos every day talking about what we just saw, what I think's about to come out, and any, you know, big shocking surprises, and which, you know, we're definitely going to have some. It's supposed to be one of the best E3s. I'm excited for Bethesda. I'm excited for Sony. I'm excited for Microsoft. I want to know more about what's going to be coming out in the next year or so. So, if you want to know more, you can follow us on Twitter, and you can come back tomorrow and look at more videos. So please like and subscribe, and see you tomorrow, guys.
Hey, it's Alex. Thanks again for watching our new video. Remember to comment the video, rate the video, like the video, and if you're looking for more shenanigans in the future, subscribe and hit that little bell. That way you can stay up to date with all of the videos that we post here on the Five Guys channel. Thanks again.